Hello everybody and welcome to Kettle Black Kitchen. We're going to do another quick little demo for you tonight with our baked French onion soup au gratin. There's not much to it. This is how it arrives. You've got your soup in here. You've got your oven safe French onion soup crock that you get to keep. Every time you order one of these, you get one of these for keeps. It's amazing. All right, and then over here we've got 3 cheeses and a crouton homemade. So we've got Munster. You can always tell it's got a little bit of orange. Here we've got Roth's Grand Cru. That's their Alpine style. And here we have Gruyere, imported Gruyere. I cannot remember nor pronounce the brand name. And then a butter and olive oil crouton. All right, so very straightforward stuff. We're gonna empty the soup. We're gonna use a saucepan. You could use a microwave, or you could just put the soup in the crock and bake it that way. That does take the longest though. The bottom line, you want hot soup before you put the crouton and the cheese in. You don't want to put that in cold because then it'll all just get soggy. So we dump our soup in. There will definitely be a little extra, so you'll be able to fill the crock up and have a little bit of extra soup. I'd rather that than have too little. So we're gonna heat this up on medium till it hits a light simmer. Okay, we've got the soup nice and hot. You can see the steam. It's got a nice little bubble action going. Turn that off. We'll transfer it to the crock carefully. Like that. There's a little more. You could eat that later. That's great on crackers. You could do whatever you want. Maybe I can get the portions a little better. Put the crouton on. Now we do our cheeses. Doesn't really matter what order these go in, but you want to just break it up. And it's okay if some gets over the sides. That's actually the best part later, when the cheese melts onto the side of the crock and you get to peel that off. Okay, we have a little cheese left too for grazing. Now we will carefully get that onto our lined baking sheet. I overfilled it. Classic mistake. That's going to cause trouble later. All right, so we had it in there for 15 minutes. I did neglect to mention that in the previous segment, but that was 400 degrees at 15 minutes. That's what our instructions say on the bag. You could broil it on low for 7 or 8 minutes if you want, but you do risk burning stuff if you broil. So that's why we did it this way. As you can see, I thought it was going to be worse than it was. I thought I overfilled it a little more than I did, but if I put just a little less soup in, there would be just a solid layer of cheese around there. As it is, it sank a little bit. But we still have that beautiful caramelization there, and it melted all over this crock, which is going to be great. Now, torture of tortures, we have to let that sit 7-8 minutes minimum. I always just go 10. Again, it's one of those things where you might have to box out your family members who are going to try to go after that cheese. But it's just too hot to eat. Even if you did manage to get any, it would be too hot and maybe even dangerous to try to eat it. So just give it some time. It'll be delicious. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, probably more like 9, but we're going to cheat a little bit. All right, carefully bring this over here. If you're going to serve it, you know what? Maybe it's better to serve it at the table on top of a plate. Like that. But I think we're just gonna eat it right off the cutting board. Okay, and look at that. The crouton kept its structure. Look, it's almost doubled in size because it soaked up so much of that soup. The cheese. I think it really makes a difference to have 3 different kinds of cheese because they all melt slightly different temperatures. There's still a little bit of texture difference at the end. So anyway, enjoy your baked French onion soup au gratin.